Yo, back for another trade review. This time I'm going to be reviewing all these UJ trades that we took earlier this week. Over $30,000 is what I netted at the end of all of these 5 trades. 2 losses, 3 wins. All of these trades were sent as signals to our VIP members, so good job to everyone that took these with me. This is just an example of one of them, me sending as a signal, it hitting TP. This is an example of my P&L. This was on this specific day after these 2 trades. That was not including that one. Overall, these 5 trades, sorry, netted me around around $30,000 across all my top sub accounts because we netted around 11 RR in the end. And I'm going to break down all these trades for you guys right now. So pretty much we're going to start from the high time frame. I'm going to go over all 5 trades. Yes, we did take a couple losses earlier in the month, or sorry, last month on UJ, and it's finally starting to deliver nicely again. So I'm going to break down all these wins that we took earlier this week, and hopefully it keeps delivering longs for the rest of the quarter. Hopefully it will. But anyways, so starting from the 8-hour time frame, because I am taking these entries on the 1 minute, so we're starting from the 8-hour and the 4-hour time frame, which both are bullish. So very clear that we're looking for longs. Going into this week, we did have this huge gap from the Friday to Sunday, the weekend gap. Does that really affect anything? Not really. Just because there's a gap, that does not really change anything. As long as everything else is still lining up. The model is bullish on the 1 hour, so we were going down to the 15 minute. And this was Sunday. The first trade we took was Monday New York session, first couple trades. So we'll start here. As you can see, the 15 minute is 5 breaks up. We have 1 single breakdown into reaccumulation. So what I was looking for here is just a demand zone. So we had a breakdown. We took the lowest candle, one behind it, got this demand zone, validated right away with this triple M. And from there, we were looking at the 1 minute time frame. So let's see what we had. I took a 1 minute entry right here. We had a nice stage 1 cluster right here. MAs were good enough. The 20 cross to the 50. That's all the criteria I have on the 1 minute. It's pretty simple. And we took 1 loss to start off the day here, which is no big deal. I pretty much immediately went to go re-enter because everything else was still valid. The MAs were still valid. And we were in stage 1 reaccumulation here. So I went to re-enter this on the reaccumulation. And yeah, that was a very simple entry. And this one took a while to play out, but the ATRTP method gave us 4.32 as the target for this trade. So it took a while to get there, like I said. We'll just speed this up. But eventually, towards the end of the session, it did hit TP. It was actually not too long before rollovers. So pretty satisfying on that. And that was the start of the week. That was Monday. Then, going into these next trades, we can see this is the same day actually, but an Asia session. So going into Asia session, obviously we had to wait for rollover to happen, and then we invalidated right here. Where this was our swing candle, right there. We invalidated with that body close. We also broke down into distribution here, but while we're in distribution, we're still allowed to grab zones. So I pulled a fractal zone here. We validated with the triple M. Obviously, I couldn't take a trade until we broke up into accumulation, but once we did, we had a nice pullback towards the 20 MA, and then that's when I was really looking to enter. So on the 1 minute here, we had a double break on the 1 minute. I believe, yeah, right there was the zone 1 break, and this was a stage 1 creation, as a lot of you guys know. So that was stage 1, 2 breaks up, and then 1 breakdown into stage 1 reaccumulation. I took a fractal entry here, and this one actually did not hit our break-even level, and we took a loss on that one, which is, again, no big deal. Nothing wrong with taking losses. Those are part of the game. And then we came down, we invalidated right there, and then we actually revalidated from this zone. I don't have it drawn out, but this is our break 1 zone on the 15 minute here. So we revalidated with this triple M in this zone, and then we were back down to the 1 minute once this triple M printed. Okay, so on the 1 minute, obviously we're looking for a stage 1 cluster, which we get right here. So we got a nice clean stage 1 cluster on the 3rd break into the 4th, and the MAs also look fully valid here as well, being bullish, and we entered that one. So this TP was at 3.85 RR, and this one hit relatively quickly. We were only in it for about an hour, and that was that for Monday. So that was W's on Monday. And then the next day, New York session, UJ continued to just deliver perfectly. Um, just absolutely perfect price action. You cannot ask for more clean price action. Just simple staircases up, tapping demand zones and delivering. So we were valid, still valid actually from this zone tap the previous night. The swing candles updated to here, and then this is where we're looking at it. So coming into this session, obviously we made this push up. Everything's still valid. We made a pullback to the 20 MA on the 15 minute, and so we're fully good to be looking for an entry here on the 1 minute. And so I was simply just looking for a stage 1 cluster. So we had 4 breaks down here, which resets the model, resets the stage. And then, okay, it looks like the indicator actually is glitching here because this was a break up on the day. Now it's not registering as a break up, but this little push up right here actually on this specific day counted as a break up. And this will happen sometimes with the FXCM candles. Um, Sometimes they will change a couple days later, just slightly, because one of these candles closed a tiny bit higher, and when I was watching the charts, this was a breakup. That's why this was the cluster zone, and then we got an entry right here. Yes, it was a bearish model, but you know that we don't pay attention to the model anymore in the 1 minute time frame. So, I mean, that rule allowed us to catch this win, and this one relatively quickly again hit TP at 4.88 RR this time, and this one actually did end up continuing to run for the rest of the session. So if we were actually trailing this, this would have ended up being like a 20 RR trade, which is literally crazy. But we followed our rules. We took TP at 4.88. Nice to see our bias play out so perfectly. Unfortunately, we didn't hold it for this whole run, but it's still a lot of money to secure. Yeah, so pretty much 3 wins and 5 trades on UJ just in 2 days, 11 RR net gain, and around $30,000 across all my top steps gained. So yeah, crazy week on UJ. We haven't had a trade since. It's been just a couple days later. Now UJ is just overextended on the 1 hour, so we're waiting for a reaccumulation, and then we'll continue to long this shit because I think it is just going to keep running for probably at least a few weeks, maybe a few months. So yeah, those are the trades on UJ this week. GG's to everyone that took these trades with me, because I know a lot of people did follow. I sent all of them as signals, so GG's to everyone, and I'll see you guys in the next breakdown.